What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Tier 0 sale being so big that May's pre-sales will be tomorrow. They're trying to keep the site running smoothly, and there's a lot of traffic for the sale, and I've seen my notifications blow up from people using code What'sGood5 for 5% off and support the channel directly, so I want to definitely say thanks for that. But they're on the back end like it's Internet Explorer, and they're trying to get cards up. They thought they might get it up today, but it will be tomorrow. Also, Gamer's Choice on that note, they let me know I didn't know this would be today, so it'll be up tonight or tomorrow for them as well, and I'll do a video on both pre-sales saying my thoughts. But let's talk the fallout from cards. First off, the big reprint, Molcharmy Perulia, is in here. Now that doesn't mean it's not in Stampede, but it makes it a lot less likely, especially with how they named Fulos. I'd love to see all those matching rarities, and Konami has done that. That reprint was so good, let's do it right again so fast before. But taking an ultra rare slot where the ultra rares are the true chases of the set, in my opinion, that means that it's most likely not going to be reprinted right away again and then sell another product like the 10s, but we're still guessing when it comes to Konami's decisions. This is immediately under $30 for the secret rare, and the ultra rares are harder to get than the previous set. There are now 13 ultra rares. I know Math Man here doing this, but Crossover Breakers only had 10 ultra rares, and they are still going at the rate of 4 per box, which is super welcome. It's been a big change, but that is a big difference in pull rate because we're going to go 4 per box times 12 boxes in a case, and now we divide by 13 instead of 10, and instead of 4.8 each, it is 3.69 each, meaning one less copy and some change per case of each ultra rare card because there are more in that slot. So do be aware of that it's gone back down to almost the old ratio on the side sets for the ultra rares, but to compensate, there are now 6 secret rares. There are quarter century secrets as well. I think it's the altar art for Silent Magician, which looks amazing and really could be a collectible over time. And then you have, I think it's the Tachyon Dragon as well for an altar art. That's how you use altar arts if you are going to lock them in a zone. Konami, I don't love it, but I do think that is a way to use it. The only people going after are collectors and fans, and making art a little bit harder when you could save that PNG on the computer if you really love it that much versus physically having to go after a collectible to be made. I do like the balance. Unironically, I think it's what to do. Not a unique card that is locked in quarter century secret rare, but instead just an art of it. Maze became super interesting though, and a lot of cards started going up when they were confirmed not to be in there. Like 7th Ascension was already crazy in price with people gambling on it not being there. You can see the graph in that double up, and it's gone even further beyond 46 lowest before it's 50, and sales are in that range, selling at 45 to 50 consistently today. We also see that for the trap deck, Argo Stars are going. I believe it's Apophis, and that's Odeon's deck, and the Argo Stars Glorious Adra has a lot of sales going, and it's bounced up from a low of $3 towards now being a $8 card for the secret rare, and the sales are also in that range now too, while earlier today they were 6, and they might have been even lower, before that it was like towards 5. So this card has already started to creep up in anticipation, and now it is really going. So the Hat Rabbit is also back up for that deck, and it is going towards $17, $18. This is one that I felt like was starting to get a little underestimated. And you can see the sales were a bit cheaper before this was going to be hitting. It was towards 14, 15, and all the way to a low of 12. One penny stunk I want to mention that wasn't reprinted in the set. There is the new Perform Age Trapeze Magician that can overlay with a rank up on this. I don't think it's going to be meta or anything, but this only has 2 printings. I would go for First Ed OG, but the mega packs tend to sell out first for whatever reason. It hasn't been printed in 9 years. It gives the guy 3 attacks if this is a material for it. It could go absolutely nowhere, but I like having access to stuff like this. I want to go out and buy a ton. It could, again, never do anything, but for under $1 for a card that just hasn't been looked at in almost a decade, I would probably get access to that now sooner than later in case it becomes like a Utopia double kind of OTK options for certain versions of decks. I just don't want to be caught without a card like that, you know? And then Pepe could become the Pendulum format since we don't have a Pendulum Pass format quite yet. I do like Pepe a lot. I think it's underestimated, but people got sick of it back in the day, right? Book of Moon quarter century secret rare. We covered this going up for GOAT. It's also up for current format. Cam, the man, Neil, was playing a couple of these. I went through his profile and I was like, I see. He was using a lot of different kind of text for board clearing. I think he cited the lightning storms. So when it comes down to it, you can check that out on Bortles' channel. But that's another reason that this is up, along with Ultimate Slayer, really up for its quarter century secret rare in the format, and it is towards $28 right now. Both versions that he used to take first. I know there was a YCS last week in the 3v3. We also do see that Graceful Charity for GOAT is up, and that's because the 3v3 coming up should have a Time Wizard that does 3 different past formats, and it looks like they'll be using, from what people are telling me, GOAT, Edison, and Plant Synchro. At least that's to my understanding. That's what it's been before. Simo was even telling me he was practicing for GOAT and was telling me plays about it. So I do think that a lot of the GOAT cards going up altogether are a combination of wanting that kind of rarity, as well, because it's mid-max very often for past format, as well as for comboing with Stampede that's coming out and saying, if there's any other GOAT cards, I want to go ahead and get ahead of it and get these before other people reach back for matching sets. And it's that kind of combo of having an actual tournament and then also collecting. Crimson Dragon is just so far up. $40 is crazy. And the 10s are starting to push back up with other solid value inside like Star Slayer and Chaos Angel continuing to just press their prices. I think that it's still not enough versus pull rates versus the sealed for where it is going, but there are a lot of collectible QCRs, and if QCRs stay really strong over the next few years, I could see people trying to pump this before the 30th kind of stuff gets announced. In case it does, we'll see if Konami goes with the 30th, or jokes are the second 25th because the animation's getting a 25th now. Jokes aside, I think there's a lot of icons in quarter century secret rare, a lot of cool altar arts, but they've proved they will go with the altar arts elsewhere at times, and I do think it's a cool product in theory, but not in pull rates, and I think that gets people going extra. But Kaiba and Yugi being on the front actually does something as well. As much as people rage at Yugi boomers, it does make sales. Des Frog is up in price and the common is going out of quantities, so be aware when picking bulk. This has gone up even further in lower quantities. And 6 cents, I think I covered this a while ago, but it's gone up even further and is towards $18 for a first edition near mint. That's wild, especially with Stampede around the corner, but Stampede could completely miss this card. It deserves a holo, and it does seem like Stampede is targeting cards that never got holos. Gemini Elf quarter century secret rare is another past format for beatdown formats that is getting bought out, and it's a collectible waifu. It's even got a figure, so they have done extra pushes with it. It's around $9 for the quarter century secret, which isn't the most in the world, but is a lot for vanilla, and you can see that's come up a good ways from the 6 to 7 that it was, and it's almost out of quantities. Fossil Dyna has gotten bought out, and I hope that's not for current format. It is an option within the Edison formats even and other past formats, but it's on full buyout mode right now, so be aware that's happening too. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. I got to the cards. We'll do pre-sales tomorrow, and since I did that, I just want to say let First for Figures cook. This looks excellent. I am so into pixel art and stuff like this. These are magnets, so you can put them elsewhere, and they come with their own displays as well, with 2 different sides if you want to make them, but they're not out yet. They're in production, and they've confirmed they'll be doing Jinzo and Summon Skull, my 2 favorites. This isn't sponsored at all, just a huge fan plan, and they were basically saying that, well, our figures are super expensive and take up a lot of space. That's not for everybody, and we wanted to create something that more people could get into that also stored away easier and went other places and was a cheaper price. It makes so much sense, and it looks so cool. I love the Black Luster Soldier. I can't wait to see Summon Skull and Jinzo, and I will definitely be ordering a few. They also confirmed Joey Wheeler and Red Eyes, so they're starting with the Boomer stuff. Hopefully we get to some GX stuff like Hypeland did, and I am so excited. I know I nerd out over these things, but I do wait until the end most of the time.